It's time for your daily dose of DragonFeather.
Hey, this is DragonFeather and welcome back to my channel. I was going to do a video for all of you guys who've been asking me where to start with Wicca, because I get lots of questions all the time saying, can you help me? I don't know where to start, I don't know where to begin. So that's what this video is all about, to all of you guys who have been asking. So Wicca is an earth-based religion. Is considered a pagan religion that consists of a god and a goddess and the worship of the four elements: earth, air, fire, and water. It also has spirit involved, earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. Some people consider it the fifth element, pentacle, which is the star in the circle, the symbol of this religion, and those points represent earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. This is a very dualistic religion. It consists of a divine masculine and a divine feminine energy, and there are divine masculine and feminine energies in everything and in everyone. So ask me lots of questions about sexuality in this particular path, and sexuality does not matter, and harm none, do what you will, and being gay or being bi or any of that doesn't hurt anyone, so it doesn't matter. Regardless of our orientation, we all have God and Goddess inside of us. So when we have certain rituals that call for divine feminine and divine masculine, it doesn't matter because you have the divine feminine and divine masculine within you. This particular path incorporates witchcraft, and craft is the practice of magic and the practice of will. I'm not going to go too much into this video because I can just make another one for that. In a very, very vague term, it is the power of will and willing something to happen and believing in something so strongly that it becomes truth and you manifest it for yourself. There is this thing called the Wiccan Read. It's a small poem-like thing. It's guidelines for life, and I don't think every Wiccan follows this. I'm pretty sure they do, but I don't know every Wiccan, so I don't know. There's two parts of the Wiccan Read that I want to address here. There's the rule of 3, which is whatever you do will come back to you times 3, be it positive or negative, so it is kind of like a belief in karma. And then there is the and harm none, do what you will, which I mentioned earlier, meaning if you do whatever you want, as long as it doesn't hurt anyone, then it's okay. Some basics of Wicca and a little bit of a history. It is a new religion that combines folk traditions with new elements. It's loosely based on Western European pagan rites and rituals, and it was introduced by Gerald Gardner in the 1950s. A lot of people say that Wicca is a very new religion and that it's not a very real pagan religion because it's so new, but it's like neo-paganism. It's not the old rites and the old practices, and why would we want to follow things exactly the way they were years and years and years ago, because this is an evolving practice. It grows with time, and people still think that Wicca is evil, and it is not. It is not an evil form of witchcraft or of a religion. It is very, very light, and it's a very, very positive spiritual path. It has a reverence for nature, which is the observance of cycles of the seasons and lunar phases, celebration of harvest, practicing magic, being out in nature, being in touch with nature and feeling connected to the earth. Wicca is an experimental religion. You learn by living it, and so when people say, where do I start? You gotta start somewhere, and it doesn't really matter where you start. You can start by casting a spell, you can start by meditating, you can start by performing a ritual. You're gonna mess up, you're gonna have awkward moments. I've had my fair share of awkward moments, but really it's about keep practicing and learning as you go, because if you don't practice and you're just wondering what to do, sitting there like a chicken with your head cut off, then you're not gonna get anywhere in this practice, and it takes mistakes to learn, so don't be afraid to make mistakes in this practice. Going to be unique for every individual because we all have unique individual experiences. So what I experience and what Wicca means to me is going to be completely different to you because you haven't had my experiences and I haven't had yours, if that makes sense. And when you have a certain experience and you experience a certain thing, then it becomes yours and you own it, and it's your personal truth and no one can take that away from you. Wiccan books and videos don't tell us how to think, believe, or behave. They are merely inspiration and a framework to start practicing for yourself. So I can tell you everything. I can tell you everything I know. Not that I would, but I can tell you everything, and I can tell you lots of things, and I can tell you how to practice and how to be, but it's not gonna work unless you go do it yourself. I'm here to inspire you, to tell you about it, to tell you about my experiences, and to give you a little bit of background knowledge on what it is, but it all comes down to you deciding to do something about it, and you deciding to sit down and start your practice. So there are some rules that I found while looking through some of my books. I found this in the Wicca For Beginners by Thea Saban, and I'll leave a link below if you guys want to buy that book. My favorite book to recommend for beginners who are learning how to practice for witchcraft. It was one of my very first books on Wicca and changed my life. So there's seven rules, or like, not rules, but like principles that I wanted to cover. Number one is deity becomes a polarity. The Wiccan god and goddess represent yin and yang, light and dark, positive and negative, and it's a central sacred dynamic in Wicca to have this balance of two opposites. Number two is deity is immanent, and deity is in the biggest mountain and in the tiniest grain of sand. It's in the most human, man-made building and the most untouched forest. It's in everything. Deity is everywhere you go and is in everything around you, and deity is in each of us regardless of our orientation. Number three is that Earth is divine, and this is a manifestation of deity, particularly the goddess. The elements earth, air, fire, and water have genders, or kind of have the feminine and masculine energy assigned to them. Earth and water are feminine, and air and fire are masculine. So Earth is a earth and water planet, so it's a manifestation of the goddess. Everywhere on Earth is a sacred place. It does not matter where you go. Yes, some places can be arguably more sacred, but this planet is a sacred place. And no matter where you go, even if you're in your home, you're on Earth, so you are in sacred space, Number four is psychic power. Psychic abilities exist, they work, and each of us are born with our own psychic abilities, and you'll have to go through your life and discover them yourself. I get many questions about psychic abilities and if they're real and whatnot, and psychic ability and sensitivity are awareness to nature's patterns, and one of the most sacred patterns that I can describe to you is the golden ratio that is in pretty much all life. We have our own golden ratio with our bodies and the way that we look, and the more attractive someone is, the more closely they fit to the golden ratio. Spirals on snail shells and seashells are also an expression of the golden ratio or the Fibonacci sequence. Intuition and divination are parts of psychic abilities. When you get that feeling in your gut that something's wrong, usually it means that it is, and that is a psychic ability. Meditation, magic, and ritual helps you exercise these natural abilities as well as divination, which I'll go into in another video if I haven't already. That's how we exercise and work our psychic muscle, if you will. Number five is magic. We practice magic. Magic is real, it works, and we can use it to help better our own lives. Magic is powerful and it will work, and I have made some mistakes with it, and so please be careful and make sure you think out before you cast a spell that's really big deal. That's why I recommend doing protection magic. I'll leave a link down below to my white light protection spell video. That's a great spell to start off as a beginner if you want to learn just like more of a witchcraft part of it, or if you want to learn the magic aspect to this path. Number six is reincarnation. This has a different meaning for everyone, but we all have kind of the same idea, where you die and your soul is reincarnated or recycled into a new body or a new life form on the earth again. This is kind of where Summerland comes into play. Summerland is the place where Wiccans go after they die, and it's a different meaning for everybody, just like I'm sure heaven has a different meaning for everyone. But it's, for me, and me personally, and for people who I know, it's a place to go for rest and reflection before you start the new cycle of life. And number seven, and this is probably one of the most important ones in my immediate life right now, sex is sacred, and it is the joy and wonder of fertility, and it's a celebration of life, and it is a huge responsibility to have sex and to participate in sex, because you are a creator and you have the ability to create life. So please be careful when you do these rites and such. Also the Sabbats in Wicca and Witchcraft. The 8 Sabbats are considered the wheel of the year, and they mark particular holidays. There are the solar cycles, which are the minor Sabbats, and then there are the major Sabbats, which are different special periods of time. The different Sabbats are Imbolc, Ostara, Beltane, Litha, Lammas, Mabon, Samhain, and Yule. There's also Espits, which are lunar rituals, and they're usually done on the full moon, but can be done on the dark moon as well. And these are goddess celebrations, feminine celebrations. The Sabbats are more of a masculine or a solar celebration. These Espits are done on the moon cycles and to celebrate the moon. And full moon rituals, or Espits, are usually used to celebrate intuition and divination, and are a great time for casting very powerful, life-changing spells. That's about all that I have for you just on all about Wicca. It was a lot of information, I know, but it's just kind of a video to kind of point you in the right direction for those of you guys who don't really know where to go, who don't really know what they're doing, and who don't really know where to start. A good place to start is with a spell, or with a ritual, or with meditation. And once you master that, then you will learn as you go, and if you follow your heart, you'll know what to do. You'll know where you're going. So yeah, if you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them down below and let me know. But until next time, stay geeky, cheeky, and freaky, little hatchlings. Blessed be, and bye.